Alright guys, Future Aries here, coming with you, just letting you guys know that there's not going to be a lot of audio in the playthroughs for both the Riven and the Nezarec sections of the Pantheon, portions of the Pantheon. We don't have any dialogue coming from our team, I don't think. I think our comms are muted, or our comms were in, like, team chat, so it didn't really pick up, or I guess not in team chat, probably in party chat for the Xbox service, so it doesn't really capture the audio, unfortunately. And plus, there was a lot of shouting and yelling during the final Riven and Nezarec clear, so I couldn't probably even include the audio even if I wanted to. There's just a lot of profanity and shouting, and yeah, it was something. Be sure to leave a like for the video, and be sure to subscribe, because we're going to be showing off the clears for both Riven and Nezarec, and then at the very end we're going to go through the rewards for both of those missions and clears, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on Pantheon when, we finally get to the reward section of this video. Anyways, enjoy the clears, and yeah, let us know how close it was at the very end, because it was very close. I'm on. I didn't hear what you said, Dank. What was that? 8 in the center. Go to the center. To your right. More forward, more forward. Left. That one. It's that one. Yeah, we'll have to be fast. Sentinels. I'm gonna kill these Minotaurs. And then I'll try to bait her strike over here. You're gonna smash me? Smash. R1, R3.
Crushing.
I need a sniper step before I go pick it up. It is two-headed snake looking down. Right here. This one. You guys want us to go up? Better call outs. That's good. I'll get L4, L5. split up. Go back to where you're... Oh. I think someone took my plate by mistake. Yep. I couldn't get that one. One person needs to make it. Only one person. NG, if you can make it, bro. I'm gonna stop following me so I fucking can. Word. Shut up. It's not over yet. No, it's not. Shut up. Imagine if we're lost.
I have prevented extinction-level events that were gentler than you. Fantastic work. You have become a whirling maelstrom of destruction. that were gentler than you. Fantastic work!
My memory will never extinguish. In your calmest moments, your deepest slumber, you will remember me, Guardian.
Oh my god, we finally finished Pantheon. We finally finished it. Oh my god. It took so long. It took so long, and I wasn't even sure we were going to get it done right at the very end. There was so much screaming from our teammate who had died. We were doing so well. We were just off by just ever so slightly, like for a couple of runs. I think Riven we got done in 2 hours, and then Nezarec it took us about 2.5 hours. 2 different teams, 2 different squads, and 2 different playstyles for both. But man, we were like on Nezarec. On Riven, it's definitely a lot of skill and less luck for doing her properly. But for Nezarec, it's so much luck dependent on him coming to the proper spots and him getting DPS'd properly that we had to kept wiping because like we had the damage, but we didn't have like the luck of having him come straight to the ledge every single time. And the absolute last time that we did, we barely managed to squeeze by. It was so good. We were so happy. Thank God. Anyways, let's look at some of the rewards we have. The vault's kind of a mess, and we're almost maxed out on it for sure. But I definitely know where our rewards start here. It's probably gonna... We got a lot of rewards from Riven onwards, and I'm pretty sure because like we did some of the triumphs, and then we bought some rewards as well. So I'm pretty sure we start from like I think it's from Smite of Moraine, like right here, right? Smite of Moraine. So we got one with Demo, Firefly, that's a curated role, and then we got Stats for All and Adrenaline Junkie. So you have pretty good synergy there with those 2 perks. We got Nessa's Oblation, which again, pretty decent. 4th time's the charm, Paracausal Affinity, and this is not just the rewards from what's it called? Not just from Nezarec and Riven. This is from like, you know, Golgoroth all the way to Nezarec and Riven. So we got those, and I think this Forbearance is also from that as well. Stats for All, Bait and Switch, Ambitious Assassin, Chain Reaction. So pretty decent roll too for, you know, Forbearance as well. We got a Cataclysmic Adept, so we got Dragonfly, Bait and Switch. It's okay. We could have gotten a better roll for sure. Acacia's Dejection. I mean, this is one of the curated ones. I think that came from like maybe from like the Triumphs. I'm not sure why this one doesn't have double perks. But it is enhanceable for Perpetual Motion and Harmony. That's also not a great roll, but that's fine. We got another one here with Reconstruction and Frenzy. That's also not bad, and it has high caliber rounds. Pretty good. Here we got another Acacia's Dejection Adept with Field Prep, Paracausal Affinity. Also not very good, but it's okay. Carax's Distress. Field Prep Frenzy. I mean, sure, it's kind of a PvE roll more than anything, but again, not great, but it's okay. The loot's fine. Deliverance Adept. We got Heating Up, Tap to Trigger, Perpetual Motion, Successful Warm-Up. I'm not sure why some of the rolls came with double perks and other stuff didn't, but sure, I guess. So, I mean, that's a good PvP roll, if nothing else. Another Acacia's Dejection. I didn't realize how many of these we got. This one was definitely one of the ones from the curated Triumphs, because this is just rewind rounds and high impact reserves, so this is definitely like a curated one. Unfortunately, this whole Pantheon thing only gave us like one actual one where we could actually pick like the Masterwork and the Barrel perks and stuff like that. Another Cataclysmic Adept, which is really good. This one's 4 times a charm, high impact reserve, so it's pretty good too. Ideally, this would have been Bait and Switch, but what can you do, right? And that was like all of the rewards we got from Pantheon. We have a lot of other Adept rewards that came out to be, you know, much better than what we earned from, you know, the Nezarec Sublime run of our Pantheon stuff. I'm just happy it's over. I'm just happy it's over with. I'm so happy I got the emblem. I got it all done. We have Godslayer. This is all finished up. I am so happy this is over and done with. It was a nightmare to get through. It's definitely you have to look up guides. Unfortunately, my overall review for the Pantheon stuff is that it's definitely fireteam dependent. You will quickly realize that if your fire team is, under leveled, they just don't have the right equipment, they don't exactly know what they're doing, and they're kind of struggling, you are going to be stuck on certain encounters for a very, very long time. For us, our longest encounters it's like a three-way tie between like Caretaker, Riven, and probably Nezarec. Probably Nezarec and Caretaker being neck and neck, like 2.5 hours each, because you just have to keep grinding at it and keep pegging at it, and eventually something clicks with your fire team, and you'll eventually get through it. Don't be afraid to take breaks, for sure. That was one thing I learned throughout the whole Pantheon experience. Don't forget to take plenty of breaks. If you're banging your head against it, you might just be with the wrong fire team. Take what you can from the fire team, learn all the mechanics you can from the countless failed attempts, take a break, go get something to eat, come back in about an hour, find a different fire team, try it all over again. Maybe also watch some guides, too. Some of the guides did help, for me, at least. I've never done Riven legit, and this was the very first time I've done Riven legit, and it was actually a lot of fun. Riven is probably one of my favorite encounters now, up there with probably Oryx. I still like the Oryx encounter a little bit more. I know it's a lot easier than Riven, but the Oryx encounter also for the spectacle is also really cool. I actually I think out of all of the updated Pantheon versions of these boss encounters, I think my favorite is probably Oryx. The Oryx encounter refresh was very cool. I really like that a lot. The Riven one, you really can't tell because you just get like ogres and then you get like minotaurs, but that's not really that big a deal for her encounter. But for Oryx, you get like the Light Eater Knights constantly spawning, so you have to be on top of your game there. And the Thunderdome is also like you get 2 Shadow Oryxes to fight in close quarter combat, so that was really fun. But my overall thoughts on Pantheon, is it really worth the grind? I mean, oh man, it's hard to say. I mean, do you really want the title? And do you really want to put yourself through hell? Because it's definitely not going to be easy. If you are a seasoned raider, Pantheon, I mean, you might have a better time in Pantheon than I do. I mean, I obviously haven't done Last Wish and Vow of the Disciple and Root of Nightmares as much as I want to, and it definitely showed as far as me learning the mechanics and me trying to bash my head against it to get it to work. I do know that some people wanted it for the title, some people wanted it for the loot. Is it noob friendly? It's definitely not. You can't just have someone carry you the whole way through. You have to learn some mechanics throughout the entire encounter. If you can't, like, if you're just a casual player and you just want to jump in for the first time, I don't think you'll get past further than like maybe week 1, if that. You need to be on top of your stuff when playing Pantheon for sure. It's also burn dependent as well. This week was Solar and Strand, so we had a really good time with most of our encounters using Whisper of the Worm, Galahorn, Cataclysm, Apex Predator, and unfortunately, you already needed to do raids and even have those weapons unlocked to start with, and then you need those weapons to help you do the raids again on Pantheon. So if you don't have some of those really meta weapons, or the meta exotics like Curious of the Falling Star, Star Eater Scales, Celestial Nighthawk, Phoenix Protocol, like, I mean, you're gonna be struggling really badly, and you might not even find fire teams willing to even take you on for runs, unless you're like really good friends with them and you guys just want to go through with a bunch of friends. But even with a bunch of friends, I mean, people are gonna be at each other's throats for every little mistake. And at the higher and higher you climb into Pantheon ranks, from like Atrax Sovereign all the way to Nezarec Sublime, like, you have even less margin for error for certain encounters, and like your damage and like your mechanics just have to become further like sharpened to like a razor's edge, where you barely have time to make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, you gotta wipe and just start it all over again, and then you need more raid banners. I think I started this off with like 250 raid banners. I'm down to 110, so you can get through with like 130 raid banners at least. I don't know if that means we did 130 attempts. Some wipes we didn't even need ammo because we didn't even need to rally. Overall, for Nezarec Sublime the whole way through, it took me 3 days to do it, and maybe after all the, I mean, I don't think we're going to show the entire run from start to finish. I think we're just going to, because nothing changes from week to week. It's just, just 2 more added encounters, and, your power levels decrease even further. So, again, I'm probably going to show just the Riven and Nezarec Encounter at the very end. Overall, it's probably 8 hours worth of trial and error for 20 minutes worth of footage for the gameplay just to get to Riven and Nezarec, because for the title you need platinum score on all the encounters before it. And I mean, now that it's all said and over with, dude, I'm glad I did it. It's a really cool experience. It gives you that feel of contest mode of doing some of these encounters on day 1. This is apparently even harder than the day 1 contest mode. You have a lot more going for you with the special shot caller and classy warfare buffs and the special burns, and we obviously have our overpowered weapons and builds. Weapons from these raids that help us beat the raids even better. So this might be, I know this is probably harder than contest mode, but the buffs you get versus the negatives you received for your fixed power and the new mechanics of the encounters, it might even out. I think the raid encounters have a little bit of an edge over the players, but only barely, I think. Yeah, overall, it was a great experience. I am glad it's over. Would I recommend going through it all over again? Is this something you want to do again? Hell no, you don't want to do this more than once. Once you get through it, my fire team was talking about it after the post game, and again, you're probably not going to see that in the video, but after it was all said and done, everyone was just like, I am never touching Pantheon again. I am glad I have the title. I am glad I have the emblem. I'm glad I got as many of the adept weapons and red border weapons and all that progress I possibly could. But if you're missing out on any further red border weapons, I would say just do the normal mode raids, and then you can just buy extra copies of those weapons from the vendors at the end of those raids, because you get a lot of spoils. That's something that's worthwhile too. I even spent a lot of spoils unlocking a bunch of stuff in the Pantheon raid. I think I had almost 250 pushing it, maybe even a little bit more. And I had 110 left over after buying a couple extra weapons. They didn't end up being anything special, but there was that there. Again, my overall review for Pantheon is it's really fun, but if you want to go through the whole thing, if you want to get the platinum score for all of it, just be prepared to invest a lot of time into it, because it's not something you can do in an afternoon. You can't go through all 4 weeks of Pantheon in an afternoon. This is something that takes you a week of effort at least, and that's if you have the same fire team throughout the whole thing. And again, if you're doing it for the title because you want the title, not because you necessarily want the weapons. Because if you want the weapons, you might as well just do the master mode raids. Those raids are probably easier than this Pantheon, for sure. Although Pantheon gives you, surges and buffs and stuff like that, so maybe Pantheon could be easier. Maybe. But, again, with the added mechanics, it probably offsets the added mechanics. So, final thoughts on the whole Pantheon experience is that it was fun. I'm glad I did it. I don't ever want to do it again. If you want to do it, be prepared to, invest a good amount of time into it. If it isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be when it was first announced, I thought it was going to be a lot more of a raid noob-friendly experience where anyone can jump in. It's not that. It unfortunately never was going to be that. I was hoping it would be something like that, but nope. Bungie doesn't really give us much of ways of introducing noobs to the raids. You have to watch guides, and then you have to do the normal raids, and you have to do the master raids, and then you're ready for Pantheon afterwards. Yeah. But I'm happy it's over. I'm happy. I have a big smile on my face. I'm glad I got the title. I'm glad I got the weapons. I'm glad I have the prestige of being one of the only few people in the community who's probably going to be able to pull this off before the final shape, and I'm going into the final shape to fight the Witness with the title of Godslayer, which is the best title you can have when fighting against the forces of the Witness. It's so cool. Anyways, guys, if you guys have enjoyed the Pantheon videos up until this point, be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe if you guys, enjoy the content. And if you guys agree with my thoughts on Pantheon, did you guys enjoy it? Are you still grinding against it? Did you guys give up at a certain point? And you're like, you know what? I just want the emblems. I don't even care for the titles. I'm not even going for the title. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you're interested in getting the title or getting the emblems or getting the weapons? What's been your biggest, takeaway from Pantheon? What's something you wish they would have changed? I wish they would have made it a more of a noob-friendly environment and a noob-friendly experience to kind of like ease people into the proper raids and the proper, the proper raids. But it was never going to be that, unfortunately. By the time this video comes out, I'm probably almost done with my fashion video for the Destiny. Probably having that rolling out next week, the week before the final shape. The last time we did a fashion video, it was like while the Destiny servers were offline. I want to have it up at least a little bit before that. And yeah, be sure to tune in when we will be doing a playthrough of the final shape for sure. I don't know if we're going to stream it or if we're just going to, record and just upload the raw videos straight to YouTube. I'll try to figure that out once we get closer to that date. Other than that, guys, we will see you guys all in the next one.